She cheated. Then, as if it were no big deal, she looked me straight in the eyes and said, "If you're not happy, the door's right there." I stood there, calm as ever, and replied, "Appreciate the reminder," but what I did next made her feel the emptiness in that house like she'd never known before. When she came home later, expecting me to be upset, expecting a fight, she found nothing. Every last piece of furniture, every item that had once made our house a home was gone. Reality hit her like a freight train. Let me take you back to the beginning. I'm a builder, that's what I do. I create custom furniture. I take raw timber and craft it into pieces that are beautiful, functional, and made to last. The feeling of shaping wood with my own hands is like nothing else. My shop is full of the scent of sawdust and varnish, and nothing beats the pride I feel when I stand back and look at something I've created, knowing that it will endure. I built my business from the ground up. Every tool, every board, every nail, it's all been earned. And for the last 5 years, I thought I was building a life with Maria. Turns out, she wasn't in it for the long haul. She never understood that a home isn't just a place filled with nice things. A home is built with effort, love, and care. It's the sweat you put into making it yours. That house was my first big project. Long before Maria came into the picture, I had bought a rundown place and poured everything into restoring it. I laid down the hardwood floors with my own hands. I rebuilt the kitchen cabinets from reclaimed oak. Every piece of furniture in that house, whether I handcrafted it or carefully restored it, was a symbol of my dedication and love. When Maria moved in 3 years ago, she loved the house. She loved the way it looked on Instagram, the way it made her feel like she had arrived. She was proud to tell people that her boyfriend was a skilled craftsman, that we had this beautiful home together. But somewhere along the way, I made the mistake of thinking she loved the man behind the work, too. For a while, things were fine, but over the past year, I could feel the subtle decay, the slow unraveling of what we had. She started getting distant, more critical. The home I had built, the sanctuary I'd crafted for us, became less of a refuge and more of a backdrop for her increasingly separate life. She would come home late, smelling of a strange perfume and offering flimsy excuses about marketing events. She would guard her phone like it was a secret weapon, and I was the only one who seemed to notice the cracks forming in our foundation. The final break came on a rainy Tuesday night. Maria was out again, supposedly at a work dinner, but something in my gut told me tonight was different. What I did next isn't something I'm proud of, but I don't regret it. I checked the location history on our old kitchen tablet, the one we used for recipes. She had forgotten that location sharing was still active on it. I watched as the blue dot on the screen moved across the map. She hadn't gone to any restaurant downtown like she'd claimed. No, she was at a private residence in a neighborhood I'd never heard of, and she'd been there for hours. A quick search revealed it belonged to Julian Croft, a senior director at her firm, a man she had always referred to as just a mentor. When she finally came home, past midnight, mumbling some excuse about a client crisis, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't lose it. I simply held up the tablet and showed her the screen. The lies spilled out, first evasions, then the truth. She had been involved with him for months. It was a textbook affair, but the worst part wasn't even the cheating itself. It was how unbothered she was by it. There were no tears, no apologies. Instead, she got angry. She turned the blame on me. "You're boring," she said. "You always look dusty from the workshop. You don't understand my ambition. Julian does. He has drive. He satisfies needs you can't." I stood in the middle of the living room, surrounded by the things I had built with my hands, the dining table, the sectional, the bed frame, all of it, a testament to my dedication, my love. And I listened to the woman I had loved tell me that I wasn't enough. It stung deeply, but there was something else underneath the pain, cold, sharp determination. "What now, Maria?" I asked, my voice low, controlled. "What do you want to do?" She shrugged casually, her indifference seeping into every fiber of my being. "I don't know," she said. "That's up to you. I'm not stopping things with him. If you don't like it, there's the door." She actually pointed to it. The door, the one I had installed myself, in the house I had built. She stood there in that space, in the home that was meant to be ours. and told me to leave if I had a problem with her infidelity. It was the most soul-crushing thing I had ever experienced. I looked around. The couch she was sitting on, the one I had designed and built with my own hands. The coffee table made from a fallen maple tree on my dad's land. And I realized that none of it mattered to her. It was just furniture to her. Just replaceable items. Just like me. I didn't respond. I just gave her a slow nod and walked toward the door, the same door she had pointed to. I opened it, turned back, and said, "Thanks for the reminder." She smirked, smug, thinking she had won. She thought I was walking away defeated. She assumed I was giving up, handing the home over to her and her new lover. But she was wrong. I wasn't leaving. I was taking what was mine. My life, my identity, was built into every chair, every table, every beam in that house. It wasn't just furniture. It was me. And now, she was about to learn what that house felt like without the man who created it. The next morning, I set my plan into motion. Maria had a company retreat scheduled, a team-building event she had been excited about for weeks. It was organized by Julian. I had a perfect, uninterrupted 12-hour window. My first call wasn't to a moving company. I called my crew, 3 of the most trusted men in my shop. I offered them double for the day. By 8 a.m., they were at my front door, ready to dismantle my life. We began in the living room, carefully taking apart the large sectional, each cushion wrapped, every wooden leg protected. This wasn't revenge. It was precision, professionalism. I treated every piece with the same respect I give to any of my clients' projects. The oak dining table I had handcrafted as an anniversary gift was next. It took all 4 of us to get it into the truck. Then came the bookcases, the coffee table, the end tables, all of it packed up carefully. Each item a memory. The bedroom was the hardest. Taking apart the bed frame, the one I had built for us, felt like the final, ruthless cut. But I did it. The mattress was wrapped. My personal belongings were removed. We weren't just moving furniture, we were erasing the life that had once been ours. By 4 p.m., the house was empty. The space felt hollow, like a shell. Her things remained, her clothes, her makeup, her car in the driveway, but everything I had brought into that home was gone. I rented 2 storage units and moved everything there. When I stood in the middle of those units, surrounded by my creations, I felt calm. These were my pieces, and now they were back in my hands. I didn't just leave the house behind. I left her behind, before leaving for good. I went to the circuit breaker and shut down everything but the main lights. And the fridge. The Wi-Fi was cut off. The smart hub went dead. I left her usual tea on the kitchen counter, next to a plain white envelope with a stack of receipts, proof of purchase for everything I had just taken. Then I walked out. I didn't lock the door. That was her problem now. I drove to my new apartment, ordered a pizza, and sat on the floor. I powered off my phone. I didn't want to hear her immediate reaction. I wanted her to feel the silence, the absence of everything I had left behind. That night, the voicemails started pouring in. Disbelief, alarm, anger. The first was a frantic message asking if we'd been robbed. By the second, she was calling me a monster, threatening the police. When the officers came, they didn't help. They couldn't. They explained it was a civil matter, and there was nothing they could do. Her third voicemail was different. The tone had shifted. No more yelling, just weeping. "Please," she begged, "please bring the bed back. The house is cold, so empty. I can't sleep on the floor. I'm sorry, okay? I'm so sorry. Just bring the bed back." I deleted the message. What followed was a slow unraveling of her life. She couldn't afford the rent on her own. After a month of sleeping on an air mattress, she broke the lease, paying a steep penalty.